Ladies and gentlemen, finally arriving in 2021, the all-new Ford Bronco. My eyes sent a ping to my balls, and my balls sent a ping right back. And before we get into this, please consider hitting that like button. That makes a big difference in how YouTube understands my viewership, and also consider subscribing to my channel. And one more thing, if you have a vehicle that you'd like to see me review, please shoot me an email. The email is on the screen. Yes, that's right, it's back. The Bronco. I love Broncos. Love Broncos. That's one of those vehicles that I loved when I was in high school. And look at this new Bronco. What's not to love? Look at the profile. It's shaped like the box it came in, which is exactly what you want in a Bronco. The front of the Bronco imitates the original, which just looks really good, and it's got LED elements, but they're limited, which is really important for the overall. And it's got some cool off-road details, like those tie-down locations on the hood. It's got tow hooks on the front, exposed hinges, and the spare tire is hanging off the back as you would expect. Just looks really cool. Look at this thing. Look at this door. People, it's got a hole in the middle. It's got a hole through its heart like I do, but this Bronco is going to fill that hole. I feel it. There's that four-door. We will be taking a two-door, not a four-door, because a four-door Bronco is just reeking of the kind of life sacrifices that you don't want to announce that to the world. I mean, I don't want to announce that to the world, even though I have made sacrifices. But I have a family, and it's not a sacrifice. It's a blessing that I have a family now. But the Bronco with a two-door still works for a family. It's got a back seat. It's got those doors with a hole in them. And if that door with a hole in them is just reeks of too safe, you can actually take the doors off the hinges and stick them in the back in the trunk. And the roof is removable. It comes with that touchscreen with that it's Sync 3 or whatever the hell that wretched infotainment system that Ford uses is. So you see all the buttons, they're covered in rubber. They're intended to be cleaned off easily. The floor has drain holes in it, so it could hose the damn interior out. And then there's a rail on top of the dash that you can attach your GoPro or your Mentos if you're into the fresh maker, whatever you need. Maybe lollipops or a banana. Maybe you can put your underwear to dry. You can tell all these accessories with all these exposed screws are intended to be removable, and you can switch them out. Other things that I like about the Bronco is the dashboard with that front panel that you could conceivably paint, or I guess you could put your Iron Maiden stickers if you want to impress the children, or your old principal if you run into him at the welfare office. I don't know. In terms of powertrain, it comes with two options of the engines. One is a 2-liter turbo with like 250 horsepower. One of the upgraded engine is like 2.5-liter turbo. It might be twin turbo as a matter of fact, I'm not sure, but who cares. The point is that they're both turbo, and you can get them flashed and get a lot more power out of them for not a whole lot of money. The smaller engine can be mated to a 7-speed manual, which is awesome. It's unfortunate that the big engine can't be mated to the manual, but really who cares, because you got the smaller one, you chip it out, and you're going to be able to get more power than the bigger one comes standard anyways. With the 7-speed, the first gear is actually a low gear for off-roading, which is fantastic idea. All these Broncos are body on frame. It's like a pickup truck, so they're pretty rugged. You got different size tires. Most of this video you can see it wearing this thing called the Sasquatch Package. Bravo, Ford. The marketing department must have been popping bottles of champagne when they came up with that name, but it's on the nose. They had to do it. From the factory, you can get 35-inch wheels and tires. Think about that. 35-inch tires are as tall as your kitchen counter. That's monster. That's excellent for off-roading. Really shitty for on-road driving. They're going to look cool and everybody's going to get them, but the wheel and tire package you want is smaller than that. So overall, the new Bronco, it's a winner. And let me tell you, for the price, it's fantastic value. They're starting out at $29,000, and lest you think that that's a crappy looking mail truck, it is not. It comes standard with air conditioning, power windows, power locks. Hard top is standard. The base model has steel wheels that are actually sized really nicely. It's a winner of a vehicle. I used to own a 98 Jeep Wrangler, and it was well equipped. I paid about $23,000 for it. That included paying up for things like a bigger engine, extremely expensive hardtop, nicer trim, nicer wheels, air conditioning. Believe it or not, I had to pay for that. And you know, it was still considered a pretty stripper vehicle for the time. And wouldn't you know it, if you go to Jeep right now, you're going to pay about $35,000 for the stripper model of a Wrangler, which comes with only a soft top, with no air conditioner. In 2021, no air conditioner, no power windows, no power locks, tiny Tonka tires and wheels. It looks cheap. In order to get a decently equipped, I'm not talking luxurious or anything, but just competitively equipped Wrangler, you're over $40,000. So the Bronco just makes more financial sense to me. The Wrangler has been traditionally a car with a very high resale value. You can't get good deals on them. But lo and behold, now that the Bronco's coming out, Jeep is busy throwing money on top of the hood trying to get rid of all those Wranglers on the dealership lots. And then there's a Land Rover Defender, which starts at $50,000. The two-door is $60,000. That's crazy money. And it looks like a cartoon. You walk around it and you can tell that it's built so cheaply. It's all plastic. The interior, it's all plastic too. You know, the only people who think that that's a well-built off-road vehicle are those that are going to lease it for 2 years and get rid of it before they actually experience what a true Land Rover vehicle is, which is spending time at the dealership reading a magazine while they try to get rid of all the electrical gremlins. But back to the Broncos. The 80s Broncos, to me, were just the ultimate cool. You know, they were based on the F-150 pickup truck, so they were rugged, they were big, and in order to make a Bronco out of that pickup truck, they essentially used better upholstery and put a hard top that's removable. And believe it or not, just those little changes made it good enough to be a commuter vehicle. And you also get the ride height that's really high. Back then, SUVs were not a thing. So if you wanted an SUV type vehicle, this was it. This and a couple others that were also rugged truck based. But they just look cool. I just loved them. And they had their problems. These were Fords from the 80s, so reliability was a concern. It seems like they were designed to rust at the rear tailgate upon delivery from the dealership. I mean, other than the engines, which were, apart from the terrible fuel economy, they were reliable, but the rest of the package, not so much, and prone to rattles and squeaks and the vibrations and the smells and the sounds. They were not refined vehicles. Don't get me started on those squeaks. And you didn't expect me to do a video that included this generation Bronco without acknowledging the 800-pound gorilla in the room, right? Yes. OJ went on a quote-unquote high-speed chase after he did some bad things to some people who probably didn't have it coming to them, and showcased one of those things about this Bronco. They were not fast. If you're going to go on a high-speed chase with one of these Broncos, you really want to stick to the speed limit. But OJ had it right. That was, I think that was a 96. It was a final year vehicle. It had that monochrome look. Of all the Broncos of this generation, that one is the one to get. Man, I want one of those. But they're so expensive nowadays. You can't find them without any kind of rust. But even the ones that somehow magically do not have rust, if you can find one that has less than 100,000 miles, you're looking at a over $20,000 vehicle nowadays. It's crazy out there for homies like me that love these trucks. And I know what you're thinking. Bruce, why don't you get one of the earlier ones? The ones that you profess to love so much. Well, those things are even more expensive. Those start at $30,000 for a well-preserved one, and they run all the way up to $250,000 for these resto mods that several companies are making in the States, and they're getting their Instagram fame by doing so, and more power to them. But these older Broncos, they were just manly trucks, crossing rivers, crossing mountains, jumping. Mud, no problem. Airplanes, sure, why not? Pick up the kids. Obviously the wife is picking up the kids because manly men don't pick up kids. Ah, pretty young lady stranded in the side of the road. Ha ha, I get you. What, you're having car trouble? Come here. Yeah, I'll tow it for you. Bring it to the car, then bada bing, bada bam, things go down, you peel out, you make a fast getaway with the body in the trunk. And look, there's a lot of trunk space back there. And you can forget roads, they're never going to find you because you can climb mountains with these things. And guess what? You can also put the canvas covers on top so the cops don't see the body, and you can help them, and then you can go through snow. It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to find out. And what's that? Oh, they found you. Johnny Q Law has tracked you down. Well, don't worry, you're fast. They can aim at you with this old-timey rifle. Doesn't matter. You're going to be in and out. You're going to be pushing snow. You're free. You're free. And this brings an end to the Bronco video. I want to once again thank you for taking the time to watch this video that I made with a lot of love because of all the love I feel for the Bronco. And if you can, only if you can spare the likes, then give me a like and subscribe to the channel. Show me some love. If you have a vehicle that I can review, by all means send me an email to bruceknowsreviews@gmail.com. And once again, for the fourth time, maybe fifth time, thank you.